What is going on, guys? This is going to be a quick video. Hopefully it's going to be quick. I really don't know what all I'm going to even be saying in it. These are kind of just some things that I've brainstormed over the time of me playing this game. I have a bunch of hours on this game, I would say so, as of right now at least. So I think I might know what I'm talking about a little bit, after playing Valorant a bunch. And I didn't really play too much of CS, but Valorant obviously is a more kind of comparison that this game has to it, since it's an ability based game. These are just kind of some things that I would say that maybe these characters could have to change them or make them better or even worse in certain aspects of it, which would also make the game better as well. So if for some reason Mountaintop ends up watching this video, that would be cool. But these are just some things that could maybe be taken away from this, or maybe have already been thought of and are in the process of being added or removed from the game. So first I'll start with Morgan. The first thing about characters that have smokes, and this is another thing that Valorant took a very long time to add as well. Also, I will just say this is fresh after the patch just dropped. So the newest patch where they added like changes to the movement speed of the game and visual effects. They added like different visual effects to the characters. So, and they added it to literally every single character in the game, or every sponsor, I guess I should say sponsor instead of character. But anyways, one thing that I think that would make Morgan like a little bit better, and this could be considered a nerf or a buff, it doesn't really matter. I guess technically it would be considered a nerf, because what I truly think should be in the game is a way of knowing when the smoke is going to end. There isn't really a good way of indicating when the smoke is going to end, because there's no like flicker around it that tells you that it's going to end, especially if you're inside of it. And this goes for like if you're playing inside of your smoke and you know the smoke's about to end, you can move out of the way. But if you don't know what's going to end, when it ends, you just die. And even if you're not playing inside the smoke, like if you're just watching, like if you want to try to move around, say the smoke's been there for a while, you want to try to move around and position yourself to be in a better spot, you get like right here thinking that the smoke still got a little bit going, and there's a person like, I don't know, right there, and as soon as the smoke ends, you're looking this way and the guy kills you from here. So it's just, if there was a better way of indicating that the smokes were going to be about to disappear, then that would obviously make the character a little bit better or worse depending on how you look at it. But I think it would probably be considered a nerf, but it would be a good change to have in the game. Like I said, same thing Valorant did, but it took them a very long time to do that. But it was a very good change. For the meltdown, I really don't think there's anything that they need to do different to this move. You can see they added a little bit of visual effects. If you remember what it looked like before, it wasn't as like, I don't know, shocking and popping as it was beforehand. All in all, I think it's pretty fine of a move. Not really much else to do about it. I feel like for some reason, whenever I was playing with this character not too long ago, I remember I was playing on Skyway, and I was on my other Spectre on A site, and this got triggered on B. I didn't get a notification that it triggered. It just triggered. I don't know if that was a bug or if it did that beforehand. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. But if that is a new thing, if it does say trap triggered, I know that the Sentry does whenever you're playing on Riker. But good fix if that was a fix, and if it was a bug, then I'm glad that it hopefully isn't a thing now. Those are some changes that I would say for Morgan. To be honest, I don't really have anything that I would say that would be useful for buffing him. I think the meltdowns go a pretty decent range. I don't think they need to be be able to be thrown further or anything like that. I think the hidden grasp could maybe use a better way of placing it. I think it's fine that you can place it and not have to stay in the same place and like look at it, to place it, like you can place it and just walk away. But I feel like you can't place it far enough. You have to be like really close if you want to get it to something, instead of being, I feel like I should be able to place this like on the edge of this from where I'm standing right now. But it's kind of what it is. Maybe that would be the only buff that I would say to change for Morgan. So moving on, I probably should have started on Pinnacle. I don't know why I didn't, but it's fine. Pinnacle is going to be one of the ones that I would say definitely needs an indicator change for when he is throwing a nade and when he is throwing a flash. There is literally no way to interpret it if you are on the defending side of this. Like if you see a flash come over the wall and you're over there, you have no way of telling if it's a nade or a flash. You might be able to tell if you're a demon or something, but like when you just see that yellow trail in the sky, you pretty much have to hope that it's or you have to act as if it's a flash by just turning around. The problem with this is if they're throwing a nade to try to do something, but they have another person peeking them, you're going to turn your back to not look at the flash, and then you just turned your back for no reason because a nade was getting thrown 10 feet over your head, but you didn't want to, you didn't know if it was a flash or not, so you just turn around looking stupid, then you get killed from behind. So I think that's something that definitely needs to be changed. There's not, like I said, there's not really a way of knowing, and if there is, then maybe I'm just really dumb and I don't know myself. But it's from all of the times that I've been hit with or seen a throwable get thrown over something, like to try to get like a peek or something, a lot of the times it's a nade and I turn my back and I die just because somebody else felt like swinging. But I don't know, that could be even considered a strategy. But you know, I think that's just something that needs to be changed about him. Another thing is the detection of when you get hit by a flash is so inconsistent. I will literally, I have had a flash go directly behind me, and I will get fully flashed because it like hit the peripheral of my eyeball somehow. I don't even know. But I will be flashed for like 4 seconds for no reason whatsoever, and then I'm just dead. Like that right there, I have had that full flash me before when it just detects like right there, and I'm looking right here. So, you know, that is something that I definitely feel should change. I think the splinter nade is actually fine. I don't want to say that it's inconsistent, but there have been times where I have had a nade like go directly on me and I have not died before. I remember that I've been hit to like 70 HP after it hit me, and I'm telling you, the nade was like right here. It was like right at my feet, and somehow I lived. I've also had times where the nade will go like on the other side of me, and I'll still have a lot of health, or I'll die. But sometimes I'll also have a lot of health left. So, you know, it just, I don't know. There could be a little bit of better hit detection there as well. But all in all, I would say that it's fine, to be honest. And the last thing that I would say, and this could just be a key binding thing. I don't really know if this is like a game problem or if it's just a key binding thing. So it could be something that I could change. But whenever you're using your adrenaline and you don't have a nade or a flash to cancel to on a pistol round, you have to use all of the adrenaline, because pulling your knife out obviously will not do anything to cancel it, because you can have your knife out and your melee whenever you are using the adrenaline. Say if I wanted to cancel it and I don't have a primary weapon, I literally cannot do it. I have to hold the full duration of the adrenaline. And if I don't have a Spectre, then there's literally nothing I can do.
Adrenaline
I just think that's one of the dumber things in the game. I don't really know if there's any other way to cancel it aside from having a primary weapon or another throwable that you can cancel it with to cancel, like, you know, the animation of it. But that's one thing that I just strongly hate. On pistol rounds, this happens to me the most, because obviously on any other round I'm gonna have a primary weapon. So I just think that's one thing that should change, because a lot of the times I'm like trying to clutch something and I just got hit a little bit, and I'm literally forced to peek as slow as possible with this right here, and I can't do anything. I have no movement. I can't jump. I can't do anything that would get me out of the situation of getting shot again. So I think that's just one thing that should change as well. Moving on, let us go to Bloom. In my humble opinion, and I feel like this could probably be in maybe other people's opinions as well, I think Bloom is probably the best sponsor in the game. The Hex Barrier, it needs to have a slower cooldown or a longer cooldown. It is way too fast. Like, literally, there was an instance where my friend planted the bomb. As soon as he planted the bomb, I put a hex down. I was playing on Metro. I put a hex barrier down mid. I got the hex barrier 2 more times before the bomb blew up. I had the freaking hex barrier 3 times in the span of when the bomb had gotten planted. I don't even know how this is possible. I don't even know what is the cooldown on this thing, because it might tell me it's 10 seconds, 30-second recharge. Yeah, I'm telling you that it just does not seem right. I don't know how, but it doesn't seem right. I feel like this is just a little bit, it just comes back like way too fast. I don't know. There's some things that they could tweak about it, of course. That would be one of them. Honestly, aside from that, I don't really see any other problem with it. I think people don't use the one panel enough. It's very good. Like, if you're trying to do an aggressive peek, most of the time people are going to try to shoot this and break it because they only see one of them. So if you're smart, you can either bait them out by doing that, which obviously if they shoot it, it's not really a big deal. You'll get it back in 30 seconds. But if they're shooting at it and, I don't know, maybe they're whiffing or something like that, you can overcorrect them and kill them. It actually happens a lot whenever me and my friend are playing this character. So I think that's just something that could be utilized a little bit more. I really love the use of the panel, the hex barrier just in general. One thing that does happen to me a bunch when I am playing this character is sometimes I will die through the barrier. And this is not saying whenever they shoot it and kill me. I have literally been hit on the side of the barrier and died watching the bullet hit the barrier. It literally will do the impact thing that it does, and I have died behind the barrier before. I don't know if that's a bug. It must be, because clearly it's not supposed to be possible to do. but I have had it happen to me multiple times. It has definitely happened to me one too many times, me and my friend as well, and he literally does not play any other sponsor aside from Bloom. So Twin Mend, I think, is perfect. I don't think there's literally anything wrong with Twin Mend whatsoever. This is one of the things that makes Bloom probably the best character in the game, is the fact that they get 2 of these and can pretty much use them as soon as somebody takes some damage. It kind of can just allow you to reach out back into a fight, but you don't heal really that fast, so you just got to be careful of it. But on pistol rounds, this is very important because you do not have to buy armor when you're playing this character. Now, obviously, you can get one-tapped, which is pretty easy to do in this game. I feel like pistols aren't really hard to use like they are in maybe like Valorant or CSGO especially. But I normally just buy both of my abilities, buy both smokes and both heal. So if I get hit, like I can ego chow off the gate. Hopefully I don't get one-tapped. If I don't, then I get to heal back up. If they hit me, they're probably going to come and say, hey, this person's probably weak, rush him, shit on him, poop on him, stink on him, pee on him, blah, blah, blah. But I will actually have a little bit more health than they thought because I healed. So I think Twin Mend is very, very good of an ability. I wouldn't really say there's anything wrong with it. It needs to be nerfed or buffed. Now, the same thing can be said about Bloom that I said with Morgan. There just needs to be an indicator of when the smoke is going to go away because it's just so annoying not knowing when it is going to. You can visually see in these smokes just about the same as you can in Morgan, so there's really not much that you have to worry about there. Obviously, these smokes do damage, which is another reason why these smokes can be considered better than Morgan's. The only downside, I guess, from that is you don't get them back. I think that there should be an indicator as well of when somebody is in the smoke getting or taking damage from it. Now, if you have a smoke on like Mew's dome shield, there actually is a sound that pops up whenever Mew's shield is taking damage. Like I think a sound should be made whenever somebody is in the smoke taking damage, because that would obviously be better if you know they're about to push through the smoke, or if they're just in it in general, you can start shooting through it. Now this might be too much of a buff. I'm gonna be honest, it might just be too much of a buff, but you can see there is some visual indicator of this character taking damage right here. I just think there should be a sound as well, and it doesn't have to be loud. It could be like really subtle, but if I'm playing outside of my smoke and somebody is inside of it, I would like to know that without having to go in there and risking my entire life. I think that could be another change. Aside from that, I think everything else is fine. I really don't think there's much that you could do to nerf this character from being the best, aside from making the Hex Barrier a little bit worse and having a longer charge on a cooldown, maybe like 45 seconds, because it's insane. You can also place this before the round starts, so I don't know. Moving on. Now, Riker, on the other hand, whenever I started playing this game, I really had a mindset that Riker was like the worst agent in the game, or worst sponsor in the game, sorry. I don't really know if I can say that now. His scan is interesting. It is very interesting, and over time, it has definitely gotten better when people are using it. The reason that I can say that is because it can literally be thrown in areas where it cannot be shot, which I think is honestly how this character is supposed to be played, how this sponsor is supposed to be played, is by throwing it in areas where it just can't be shot. So a lot of the times, obviously, if it's placed on an like a front panel like this, or a front wall or something like that, it's going to be able to be shot because you can see it. But if there is a way that you can actually get it on top of something like this, and there you just can't shoot it from an indestructible, you know, type of area like that. It happens a lot on Skyway especially, but obviously people are finding more and more places to throw them, and now that custom games don't have to have 6 people in them, you can go in there and find lineups, although it is very, very hard to do so because they don't have cheats in the game yet. That's another thing that I would say, please God, add, where you can have unlimited abilities, unlimited ammo, and, you know, stuff like that. Maybe even a ghost mode where you can just fly around the place. That would make things a lot easier, so we could develop, you know, lineups and easier ways of post-plant scenarios and stuff like that. But anyways, going on about Riker, if you can find a way, or just find lineups where you can just throw these things on top of things and they can't be detected, or they can't be shot out, it just makes this character so much more of a hassle to deal with, because you have to move no matter what. I will be honest, it did take me a while to find out, and it is literally in the description when you read it. It's a freaking sonar spike that pulses 3 times towards your active body. I actually didn't know what that meant. I thought that wherever you throw it from is where it'll pulse every time. But obviously, if you didn't know, this will pulse wherever you are. So that pulse is going to send That one didn't, but this pulse will send directly towards me. So, or whenever somebody throws out one of these scans, it's a pretty easy way to detect and tell where they probably are standing, because the pulse literally just sends directly at them. So if they throw it from somewhere and you think there's somebody there, and they obviously could use their teammates for this as well, like it's not going to go towards the teammate, it'll go to the person that threw it, the Riker. If he moves all the way over towards the right after the scan, then you know somebody's got to be towards the right, or towards the left, I guess, on the other side of things. But either way, I think I don't really know if I would change that. I think that's actually what makes his scan very unique compared to like anybody else, especially like a Sova dart or something like that. But I think that's fine. Sometimes it just is annoying whenever you throw a dart and there could literally be somebody like right under it and somehow they don't get scanned because you moved over. I think that's just weird, but I don't know how I would even change that, except maybe making the radius a little bit bigger. But even then, I don't know if that would break the life out of this character or if it would nerf him too. Obviously, it wouldn't nerf him, but I don't know if that would break the life out of the character. One of these things that I can say about the Hull Mine that really sucks is the fact that once it detonates, you can just shoot it and destroy it. I don't think that you should be able to do this, and I'm gonna be honest. The reason that is because it's so easy to destroy. If you place it and shoot it once, it will still detonate. That's actually what activates the detonation for it, and it still does that 15 damage per tick. But if you shoot it 2 times, it just breaks. The thing with this is after somebody gets hit by it, all they have to do is literally shoot it twice and they're fine. I feel like this character is really designed to just get a lot of information, and obviously he has the sentry as well, but these could be a lot more of useful information if you can't just break them, as well as maybe I think that it should tell you when it gets detonated as well, just like the sentry does. Whenever somebody's triggering the sentry, it lets them know. I feel like that's something that could definitely be pretty useful as well. I feel like it should let you know when the Hull Mine is detonated, and I also just think you shouldn't be able to destroy it. Now 45 damage is not really all too much to worry about, to be honest, and most of the time if they don't shoot it, they can just jump out of it pretty easily because the ticks are so slow. You hear it come up, you hear it start the detonation, and then you have all of that time to just jump out. So most of the time you're only taking 15 damage unless your foot is like directly on it. But either way, I just feel like it shouldn't be able to be destroyed, and maybe it should just tell Riker whenever it is being detonated in general, because if you're on the other side of the map, there's not really a way to tell, aside from another teammate being over there. I don't even know if it shows on the minimap when it's blowing up. I think that could be a change. The Arc Sentry, I think, is a very underrated tool. I don't think it gets talked about enough, as annoying as it really is. The range that this freaking thing has is almost unbearable. I don't understand why the range on it is so damn good, but you can put this thing like almost anywhere. I don't know if I can do it in here in the range yet because it's too high. You can put it on boxes and stuff, and it will still obviously be able to catch people. Obviously, if he's behind a wall, it's not going to see it, but as soon as he takes a step from that wall, he is going to get shot. Now, when you can place this thing in off angles, that does create a lot of a kind of guess for the opponent to have to worry about. You have to pretty much worry about shooting the sentry. As soon as it gets detected, people can play off of the sound of it, or as soon as you get detected by it. So if you aim for the sentry and somebody else swings you at the same time, now you actually have another person that you have to worry about, or another angle that you have to worry about getting shot from. So I think that's just something that's really cool. But I don't really think there's anything else that I would change about these in general. I think they're perfectly fine the way that they are. Moving on to Vector. All right, where do I start, man? If you play Valorant, you know that this character has one of the most broken abilities in the game, if not the most broken ability in the game. I'm talking about Vector, not about Valorant right now. I'm just saying, if you play Valorant, I'm going to refer this move to Reyna's ultimate. Now, this thing right here, the fact that this is an ability is disturbing for a passive ability. The reason that this is absolutely insanely broken is because you get this back. What is it? I think it's a 30-second or 45-second cooldown. 30-second recharge. This is a 30-second recharge. You can summon your Spectre from literally anywhere on the map, and it is instantaneous. That just took 2 seconds for the Spectre to go away.
Readying duel left.
Instantaneous. He just comes to you.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Just comes straight to you.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's not the only problem with this move. Let's just say that my Spectre's over there. I don't really have a way that I can kill myself, but say for instance, wherever you place this thing is wherever your Spectre is going to detonate to. Say that this bot was going to kill me right here. If my Spectre is in Timbuktu, Whenever I switch to my Spectre after I die, guess what? I can teleport there anyways. So it's just like, what in the actual hell? But obviously, that's not the only broken thing about this freaking ability.
Readying dual lamp.
Why? Why does it recharge every time you get a kill? Why does it just refill every time you get a kill? I don't know. I don't know. The fact that this gives you 15% fire rate buff for 8 seconds and it recharges back to the full amount of it when you get a kill with it is absolutely ridiculous, okay? This gun already doesn't have any recoil, and the Crusader is one of the guns that people use a lot because it's a tier 4 weapon. The fact that it has no recoil whatsoever, it just makes this gun even more broken, and same for the Blackout. The Blackout also becomes broken as hell. It already has the fastest fire rate in the game, I'm pretty sure, of a gun. So it's just like, bro, what are we doing here? And I feel like the recoil is non-existent when you have the amp activated. It should be completely opposite because you're shooting faster. But there's no recoil on the Blackout or the Crusader anyways. So it just makes the gun even more broken, bro. I can't even fathom how broken it is. Now, the reason that I'm going to compare this to Valorant is because what this passive recharging ability is Reyna's ultimate. I get this ability every 30 seconds. If I want to pop it at any time, I can just do it. But it's even more broken in this game because this game plays so much differently than Valorant that your Spectre highly likely is going to be all the way across the map on another site doing something. But whenever you just feel like it, you can just bring them to wherever you want. They definitely need to change something about it. I don't know if I think the 8 seconds is honestly fine, that it lasts for 8 seconds, but I don't think that it should recharge every time you get a kill. I don't think it should go all the way back up to its full 8-second duration. Maybe give it like an additional 4 seconds or something like that. Maybe don't even have it recharge at all. I also don't really think that you should be able to instantaneously spawn your Spectre wherever you really want them to be. I think it should maybe be like 2 seconds, 3 seconds maximum, or minimum, sorry. Being able to do this like on instant, and no other character in the game can do anything like this instantaneously, I think it's low-key kind of absurd. I feel like it comes into play a lot more than people really expect. I use it a lot. I feel like I don't get hit by it a lot. What I get hit by more than the Spectre actually spawning, like when the other player is still alive, is whenever I kill the Vector and then he teleports after his death because he's able to do that, and then he's behind me or something and I just have no idea. It's just kind of crazy that that's a thing that you can do. And maybe set the recharge to 45 seconds. I think that would definitely be a good change for this ability alone. The amp ability alone is just so damn broken. The Vector wall, I don't really see any of a problem with this. I love the fact that you can send it slow and send it fast if you want.
Vector wall.
Because that does kind of create for good things that you can do. When you look at this, it kind of looks like you can't shoot through it, which is one of the things that I thought in the beta or in the playtest. I didn't think you could shoot through it just because the bullets look like they're kind of deflecting off of it, not going through it, but you can. So if you didn't know that, anybody newer watching the video, you can shoot through these walls. It is very good. So, you know, I don't really think there's anything that I would change about those. Now, the Nanosphere, on the other hand, this thing can be so misleading, and in certain areas, like where you throw it, it takes too damn long to throw it. It takes way too long to throw it. This thing needs to be able to be thrown, if not instantaneously, very, very close to it. Because I will have, like, you literally have to pre-fire throwing this thing if you don't want to die from throwing it. Like, I have to do that. If somebody's on the other side of this wall, and, like, I know that he's looking at me, I can't try to line up where I want to throw it. Because if I do, I have to stand here for 20 seconds to try to bounce it off something. Like, obviously, I'm not trying to throw it at the person if they're looking at me. I'm trying to throw it in a way that they're going to have to worry about it. Throwing it at them directly can be good, but most of the time, they're not going to be holding an angle standing in a doorway like this. They're going to be holding it on an off angle, so you kind of want to bounce it off of something. But in certain areas, like I can say on Mill, when you're trying to throw it into the hall from B main, that's a very, very, like, hard angle to try to throw it into correctly because you have so many areas that you have to be watched from. You have B main, you have the top of heaven, you have that little spot like over towards lobby side to be worried about as well. All in all, like you just have to, it just takes too long to throw it sometimes, so you'll get caught in the middle of the animation like trying to throw it. Now you can hold it and do this as well, but a lot of the times if you're doing this, if you get rushed, you're just dead. So I feel like being able to hold it is good, but it's not really, it just needs to come out faster so you can throw it in certain scenarios where you don't want to get pushed. Because if I know somebody's pushing me and I have to throw this thing out, I gotta wait 10 seconds for the damn thing to be able to throw them when I could just swap to it instantly, throw it, and just kind of get away or something, you know? So I don't know, I would just maybe up the seconds on how long that it takes to actually
launching nanosphere
to deploy it, just in general. But I think it's very annoying of a move to get hit by. It's super annoying because you actually have to focus it once it touches you, because it's literally just glued to you, just dealing damage. So all in all, I think that's a pretty decent move. I don't really think there's anything I would change about it aside from the deployment speed on it, because it is just too slow. So all right, moving on, we have Ghostlink. Ghostlink was the one character that I unlocked in the playtest, so I did play him a bunch, and he is the last character that I unlocked in the full game. Because I just didn't want to play him anymore. I wanted to try all the other sponsors out, but I still have, now that I have him unlocked, I have played him a bunch over the past like 3 days. They didn't really change anything about him from the playtest to my knowledge, but I would say that the partition wall is absolutely insane. Like, things that you can do with this wall, pairing it with the dupe, are so good, but I don't see many players doing this. And then obviously it's just like a smoke wall, and it's all in its own. Another thing, like if you're in a 1v1 situation or a 1v2 situation and you don't have any dupes left, you don't have any dead zones left, you can literally just use this to make it impossible for the opponent to actually see you. Standing into this thing, it's just so hard. You force them in the spots where they have no choice but to have to peek through the wall or walk through it. Then it gets really, really intense and annoying to try to fight somebody while this wall is up. And this is his passive ability, so it does come back in every 30 seconds, I believe, as well. Or 45, sorry. Whenever you have this thing, most of the time you'll have this in a 1v1 situation. If you don't, then, you know, oh well. But if you can do this, it becomes a really, really annoying fight for the opponent. Now, if they win the fight, then you just lost. GG, go next. Do better. It is good to use. So I don't think there's really anything that I would change about this at all. But pairing it with the dupe, I wish that I could show it, but the opponents don't actually shoot at me here. Throw a wall up, and you throw a dupe, and they actually shoot at the dupe. They get revealed. You can see them, obviously, through this wall. They cannot see you. So this is a free kill almost every single time somebody shoots a dupe through this wall, because you just have such an easy way of getting a kill on them. I really would like to see more players utilizing that. I don't really see many Ghostlinks as it is, but the ones that I do, even like when I'm just watching and jumping from stream to stream, people don't do this, and it's really good. Like, it's super good. The dead zones, I think, have the farthest throwable range in the entire damn game. It's ridiculous how far these things can go. Like, that dead zone is going to hit him for sure, and that's the center of it, I believe. It's a super, super, super far range. And the thing with this is, like, whenever you have the mini map on, of course, and you're looking at it, you can see exactly where the dead zone is going to land. That being the case, this sets up for insanely broken post-plant situations, because if you just throw this on the bomb from damn near anywhere, if you have a teammate alive, you can run back. This is just like Brim Molly lineups or Viper Molly lineups, stuff like that. You can just run anywhere you want, throw the dead zone up, let your teammate get the fight, because once he gets on the bomb, there's nothing that he can do. There's literally nothing that he can do. He can't see you at all. The dead zone's like blocking range is absolutely stupid. You can't see anything when you are in this. Like, the fact that this is a thing and you can just throw this on the bomb itself, and it lasts a pretty good bit as well. I think this is very, very good. I really can't say there's anything I would change about it aside from the fact that you can throw it across the damn map. Like, you can just throw it so far. I think that the duration that it lasts is really good, because it is a very, very good post plant and blocking off an area situation type of device. People can't push through certain areas when there's a dead zone, because once again, you can't see anything in it. So if the second you step in it, if somebody's watching the angle where the dead zone is, which is how you should be doing it, you're just gonna die regardless. So, and I skipped over the dupe. I don't think there's anything at all that I would change about the dupe. The dupes are really, really good. I think whenever you bring your puck where it was last sitting, I think that it leaves a dupe is actually really, really good, because you can set, I keep doing that, you can set your Spectre in a very like obvious location that the opponent's gonna shoot at, and this lasts for a minute. So if you like have your they say they're about to push side or whatever, and you just have them set up in a really stupid spot, just in general, literally, you could just move your dupe wherever you want, and it's gonna sit here like it's still there. You know, if you want to leave a site, if you just want to pull it away and just have some sort of presence there, I guess, to let them notify you if they're pushing that site. Just set your dupe up in a situation where you know they're probably going to shoot it, because why would you still be sitting there while they're pushing the site? It lets you know that somebody is over in that area. So I think that's really cool, and the fact that that lasts for a minute is good. If I had to change anything, I would say maybe make this last for like 30 seconds and not a full minute, because lasting a full minute is kind of stupid. So, all right, moving on to Mew. This character is one of the characters that I really thought that I was going to enjoy like the most, simply because of how broken the Flash is and can be. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about this. This move is just, it's pretty solid. There's like literally nothing that I would change about it at all. It can move and it can be stationary.
Healing right here.
You know, what else is there to say about it? The range on it is also really big, so super good of a move. I don't think there's any buff or nerf that I would do to it. So the thing about this damn Flash is it's so weird the way that it looks whenever you're like moving it. I feel like the way whenever you throw it, it doesn't act like it should, if that makes sense. Because there have been some times where I've been like standing, you know, further back, and it looks like it's gonna go outside of the range, like on the other side of the wall, and then it just blows up right on the wall. Now obviously I'm doing this on purpose, but there are times where like you'll try to throw it and it'll kind of just blow up right in front of a wall. And if there are any Mew players that watch this video, you will know what I'm talking about, because this does happen to a bunch of people. I have literally seen it before through teammates and through streams. So it just happens. But this Flash is very good. I just don't think that it lasts long enough for you to be able to throw it. I think it has to pop very quickly. I think it should have a little bit longer of a duration of time of where you can, or how long you can throw it. And I don't mean like a long duration. I mean maybe like an extra couple of milliseconds, like half a second maybe, would just be a little bit better, because you can't really stand in further back situations and try to control it. You have to just kind of throw it up. Like if I wanted to get it over this box, there's really not much of a way that I can. It lands like right on top of it, so I can't like pop flash unless I'm really, you know, close to it, and then I can get it over the box that way. You know, all in all, I think that would just be better. That way you can move with them a little bit better and then kind of peek off. The flashes do last a pretty good bit of time, and they actually did nerf this. It did used to last longer. I can't remember what the time was, but they numbed it down to a second. So I think maybe 1.5 seconds should be, you know, good enough. The biggest thing that I can say needs to be changed about this character and this Flash, it has to be changed. You need to be able to detonate it whenever you want. You need to be able to detonate this Flash whenever the hell you feel like it, because I cannot tell you how many times I get into a damn gunfight and there's a person like on the other side, and I don't think he's gonna push me, so I'm kind of just waiting here. Like right before he peeks out, I start to throw the flash, and I have to wait the full 1 second for it to actually be like, I just want to be able to throw it, click again, pop flash it, and do something. Another thing that I could say is really cool about this, and I don't think this should be changed either, because this does kind of make the character unique from Umbra and Pinnacle, is the fact that the flashes doesn't do anything to your teammates or you especially. It only hurts the enemies, which is really cool. I don't think that should be changed. I think that's a really cool thing that this character has specifically. But all in all, I would say those are the things that I would change about the flashes, whether it be buff or nerfs, however you want to consider it. I think those are changes that probably should happen. The one thing that I can say about the Hyperdome, you cannot throw this thing far enough at all. It does not go damn near anywhere. Like, what is this range? What is this range? It goes the exact same range as your puck goes, which doesn't really make much sense to me. I don't really understand that. Like, if you really want to be able to throw this Hyperdome somewhere where, like, you could even have lineups for this damn thing, but you just can't throw it anywhere. Like, if you want to be able to throw this in a corner over there and be able to get your puck to get thrown to it, I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. Now the thing with it is, and I feel like this is probably what the devs wanted to do, was make it to where it is the same range as your puck, so if you throw it, you can throw your puck directly into it and it's not too far away. But the problem with this is, this isn't just for you, it's also for your teammates. So if you want to be able to, like, say your teammates over here fighting on A or whatever, and they need to, they hear like it's about to be an A push, they want to be able to call their Spectre over and say you're over on B site and don't have your other Spectre over by B. You can literally go like maybe towards the middle of the map or like towards the spawn and throw this shit all the way over there. Have your teammate throw his Spectre in there, maybe even throw yours with it, I don't know. but it should just have a further range to be able to be thrown, because that would just make more sense. You can't really get anything from this. You pretty much have to play one of your Spectres on A, one of your Spectres on B, and then if you hear it's a rush from your other teammate or something like that, you just throw the shit down and you call your other Spectre into it. Like, that's pretty much how you have to do it. If there is another way of doing this, please let me know, or a better way of utilizing it. But the fact that this lasts for a minute on the ground is also pretty good. I don't think it should be any shorter. I don't think it should be any longer, especially. The thing about the Hyperdome is, like, it's HP. I feel like it's not good enough. The fact that it's the same as the Hex barrier doesn't really make any sense as well, because if you want to be able to bring your Spectre into this thing, why on earth would I want to be able to die like within 4 shots? First of all, your Spectre, you have to swap to your Spectre and then be able to move while getting shot at through the bubble. The health needs to be a little bit further. Which also will allow you to be able to plant a little bit more safe. So if you throw this and you want to plant behind it, like, obviously they can see through it, but I think the rate, or the damage that this thing takes needs to be upped a little bit, because it just dies too fast. I would say maybe make it 6 to 7 bullets, and if I'm speaking out of line here, let me know. But I think that maybe it should be like 6 to 7 bullets. It should not be the same as a Hex barrier, a move that literally recharges within every 30 seconds. That just doesn't make any sense to me either. But that's the only thing that I could say, or the only things that I could say would need to be changed about the dome shield. Just make it have a little bit more health on it, and make you be able to throw it a little bit further, because it's just kind of ridiculous. You can't throw it farther than as far as you can throw your puck. Moving on to our last character, or sponsor, I guess I should say, Umbra. This is the last character that I unlocked. I didn't really think too highly of the character when I played him after I unlocked him. Whenever an enemy was playing it, I was like, damn, this character's low-key kind of stupid. And then I played him and I was like, this character sucks. This character's awful. Why is this character so bad? I don't really think that the character sucks. I think there are a couple of things that I've complained about in the middle of games before. Obviously, we'll address those things here, but I don't think this character needs to be overtuned, because if this character becomes overtuned, this will be the best character in the game. Honestly, I think this will be the best character in the game. Now, the one thing that I can say about this character's recons, there's just something about these damn things that pisses me off to a certain degree, to where I just don't want to explain it. Now, obviously, you can throw these things pretty far, because they have, like, they just go fast, and they don't drop off like a smoke or something like that would. So you can throw them really, really far. Now, the one thing about these is, if you're trying to throw them over a wall, or over some sort of barricade, or over something, this is where the problem aligns. The fact that, like, well, obviously I can't see anything in the range, because I don't have a mini map or anything like that, but the fact that they go so fast and don't have a drop off, you can't really do that too much unless you're in a very, very open space, which most of the time you will be. But the problem with this is, with the mini map, you don't know exactly where it's gonna land, or what it's gonna land on, or what might even come in conflict when it lands. So when I say that, if I'm throwing this over a wall or something like that, let's just see if I can. Okay, I don't know what the hell that was, but let's just say that I'm throwing this over a wall. Ideally, what I would want to do is throw it over a wall and get it to land, like, right here. I feel like 8 or 9 times out of 10, it will land somewhere like up here, and it will just be, let's just do a better demonstration. It'll land somewhere up here, and it will be out of the vicinity of where the character is. So I don't know if somebody's there or not, because of the recon not landing where I actually want it to land. Now, obviously, using lineups and stuff like that will be good when you can practice them and stuff. Like I said before, they don't have cheats in the game, so you don't have an unlimited amount of these, so you can't just throw them around whenever you want to. There's not really a good way to practice your lineups and stuff like that. But even then, when a person's moving around and stuff like that, first of all, 1, you can shoot these things, and 2, you can tell when it's about to, like, you know, blow up. So you can just move out of the vicinity if it's, like, not close enough to you. So, like, if this person wanted to move out of that, all he would have to do is duck, which he's probably not going to know that he's going to be within ducking range, but he's just going to move a couple steps out, and he's not going to, you know, you're not going to know that he's actually there. That's just one thing that I could say. I don't know if I would say to make the bubble bigger, because all in all, I guess that's probably what I'm hinting at. But honestly, I feel like this is more of a game-changing thing versus an Umbra-changing thing. Like, sometimes it just doesn't work the way that it should. But all in all, I would say the move is a pretty good move. Like, obviously, you get aimbot whenever somebody gets detected by it. Now, the biggest problem with this character is that this character thrives, and I mean literally thrives, off of having your other Spectre alive. If your other Spectre is not alive when you're playing this sponsor, you're playing a nerfed Umbra
Checking for
reconnaissance.
pulses.
The reason that is because you cannot, if you get a target on somebody, you can't stop this target, this pulse, and do what you want to do with the character. You have to have
Pulse
your
finder
other Spectre. This, I just don't think that this is completely optimal for a game like this. There's no character in the game that I feel like, there's no sponsor in the game that I feel like thrives as much as having 2 Spectres alive as Umbra does, which is cool and all because that just kind of makes him his own solo type of thing. And when I say solo, I mean like there's no other character in the sponsor in the game that can do, you know, stuff like this. But the fact that you pretty much have to
Pulse
have
finder running.
your other one alive to be
Sending
able to do
glare
stuff like this, kind of, it's just really annoying. You have to guess most of the time, or you have to use 2 abilities for you to be able to actually utilize a flash, or, you know, or utilize a flash. Its best way of being utilized is you pretty much have to know somebody's here, and if they're there, then you can flash. But if you just have somebody pulsing the wall, you're on the other side of the map, you're in Timbuktu, and you just look at it,
Sending the glare.
you get to flash it for your teammate. Wow, that's really cool, but what else do you get from that? Like, you should be able to do this once you get a scan here. Like, you should literally just be able to swap to you shouldn't even have to put the pulse away. You should just be able to swap to your flash
Throwing glare burst.
and just flash it wherever you want to. Like, or
Checking
you
for
know, do
pulses.
it this way if you want to do this.
Recon wing away.
Automatically just get the recon scan so you know that somebody's going to be there and exactly where they are, so you get the aimbot. I feel like you should just be able to do that from this, you know,
Pulse
the
finder
character
up.
that's doing the pulsing. This is kind of what I was saying will make this character the best in the game if they do make this change, because it's absolutely insane of a thing to do. But I feel like it would just work better. Like, it would make this character way more scary. It would just make it a lot scarier. You do not want to walk into a Spectre or a player that is using this pulse scan. It's literally going to force you to not want to do it, because if you do, you're going to get flashed or you're going to get aimbotted through a wall. It's just how it's going to be. So the delay that this character would actually be able to you know, to actually put onto his opponents or the enemies, it would be just so much better. Glare burst, I think that this move is stupid in many ways, but I also think it sucks in a lot of ways as well. The big thing about it is obviously the range on it is not really that far.
Glare burst.
Now it looks like it really is, but I promise you it's really not all too crazy. The area of effect of it as well can be dodged kind of easily. Now when this is done through a wall, you literally have no idea that it's coming.
Glare burst.
You have no idea whatsoever that is coming, so you just get flashed, which is definitely how it should be used. And a lot of people also don't know that this
Glare
goes directly
bursting.
through a wall. I don't really know why. It's literally showing you
Glare
that it
burst.
goes through a wall, but everybody thinks that you kind of have to walk around
Sending
and then
glare
kind of get them in an edge, which is also what makes it kind of bad, because when you're doing this through a wall, there's a lot of area that can be covered on the side of a damn wall. So depending on where you're throwing this thing, that's where the
Glare
problem
burst.
can kind of come in. There could literally be somebody standing right there holding an angle waiting for me to be on the door, but I think that they're right there. If I do
Throwing
it
glare
here
burst.
and they're not there, then I just wasted a flash. You know, just stuff like that. But I think obviously if this had a bigger area of effect, like a way bigger area of effect, and you
Glare
could just
burst.
do it through a damn wall, that would be insanely broken. So I can't really say that they did anything wrong by making
Glare
it not
burst.
as big. But I think it is it's pretty good that you can do it through a wall. So that's kind of the more broken aspect that I see about it. I wouldn't take that away because no one else in the game can do that either. But I would say maybe make it just a little bit bigger of an area of effect. I'm not saying make it humongous, make it the size of this entire container right here, but just make it a little bit bigger. That's really all that I would say
Sending glare burst.
to change about that. The pulse itself, I didn't really talk about it aside from
Pulse finder
you
running.
know how it works with the Spectre. But the fact that you can do this shit for 30 seconds is kind of stupid. I think 15, maybe 20 is enough. 30 seconds, doing this for 30 seconds is absolutely absurd. And you get 2 of them. Obviously, those things do show on minimaps as well. Whenever you ping somebody, it automatically targets them. It doesn't, like, you know, ping the area like it normally would. It automatically will target them, which is good and all. But
Pulse finder.
you know, the fact that you get these for 30 seconds
Recon
and the
wing.
recon darts do charge, if you do have both Spectres, you know, alive, then it's really good. Like, you obviously are playing the character the way the character should be played if you have both your Spectres alive, but sometimes that's just not gonna happen. So I don't know, maybe a couple of tweaks and stuff that could be changed about it, but all in all, I would say that's about it for Umbra. Let me know if there's some other things that you guys would like to see as well get put into the game. or maybe even be taken out of the game, because I think, like I said before, there are just some things that are really broken and some recharges that need to have a longer recharges and stuff like that. Hopefully I didn't sound too stupid in this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like on it. If you guys are new, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I plan on playing this game for a pretty long time. I've posted a lot of content on it already, so if you guys want to go watch some of those videos, check those out. That would be awesome. But please drop a like on the video. It helps spread out the videos and it helps the channel. Of course, you guys have a great day, great night, great morning, whenever you're watching this. I appreciate you all. Peace.